If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
That's right. Here I am. Welcome, my friends. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you are ready for another show all about moving you forward, especially in your business. So, thank you so much for being here tonight. We are going to be talking about business strategy and where to begin. And if you have been in business for many years, or if you've only been in business for a few years, or you're just actually starting out or thinking about starting out, this show can be for you as well. Because just like starting a new project or starting something again, building a strategy for your business should be something that you're looking at repeatedly. This isn't a one and done. This is something that, especially when you're planning out your month or your year or your 5 year or even your week, business strategy should be part of the plan, should be part of the opportunity for you to move forward. So it doesn't matter where you are in business, this conversation is going to be for you too. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm Christine McIver. I am a business optimization expert. I absolutely love working in business. Since I was a very little girl, I always dreamed about being in business. True story. And I'm someone that loves to see people honestly thrive in an area that brings them so much joy, but yet all of the bits and pieces about actually running the business is overwhelming. And it would take a lot of work to learn how to do that and make money in their area of expertise. And that's the types of clients that I work with. There are people that are passionate about what they're doing. They love what they do, but they're tired and they're worn out, overwhelmed, and confused by all the little bits and pieces of running a business today, of running a business online, of how to navigate all the different nuances and changes that come and go. So that's what I love to do. And so when I get the opportunity to contribute to someone who is brilliant at what they do, it becomes a really exciting match. So if you're someone who is thinking about, I'd like to take it to the next level, or I'd really love to start off on the right foot, why don't you reach out to me and let's have a conversation? Let's see if there's an opportunity for us to really cooperate together, collaborate and cooperate together and create an opportunity for you and your business, for the people looking for your business, and see what it would look like. If anything, we'll just have a good time having a conversation. So I'm also the founder and CEO of the Inspired Choices Network, where you're listening and watching from. And, or maybe you're on one of our many other platforms. You can find Inspired Choices Network everywhere. So you can Google that, or you can Google my name and you'll find it pop up in your favorite listening platform or viewing platform. And here at the network, what we do is we support people, experts in their field, really get their voice out there to become an authority in what they do, as well as we host and produce summits and we publish books. So we do a lot of things here, all with the target of bringing your message to the world. So who do you know? Or maybe you are the person that would like to get more visibility and really bring an attention to the amazing things that you're creating in the world. Reach out, let's have a conversation. Let's see if what we do would make a difference in your world and in your business. I would love to have a conversation with you. So that's about me. Now let's talk about you and let's talk about business strategy. So I'm just going to read the notes from today's show to get us started off on the right foot so you have an idea of what it's all about today. So what is a business strategy and where do I begin? This question can be the beginning of a wonderful expansion in your business or one you avoid. I avoided it for a long, long time. Many entrepreneurs want to ensure that they're moving forward with their business for long term success, but where to begin can be incredibly paralyzing. In this episode, we are going to talk all about business strategy, where to begin. We're going to talk about business optimization and how we can move into the important steps in creating your business strategy and how to track your success and how to evaluate over time. So, I will do my best to cover all those areas. If you would like to join us live, come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room, or you can send me an email, christine@inspiredchoices.ca, or make a comment wherever you're listening from, and I will be sure to respond to your questions. So, business strategy. What is business strategy? Well, in really, really super plain words, business strategy is a plan that is well thought out with both the present, the future, and what the gap is between those two positions. So when you are thinking about strategy, and I didn't understand this. I thought when I first heard business strategy, my mind went into massive overload. Like, is there anybody out there that has ever thought about, well, this is what the norm used to be. Like, if you wanted to go into business, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to write out a business plan. And it's like, oh my God, because many years ago, business plans were these daunting novels that you had to write. And if you didn't understand banking language, because it was banks usually that wanted these business plans, if you didn't speak their language, then filling one of these out was so exhausting. And it was like, oh my God, I don't know where to begin, and I'm going to look like a fool. And what if I go there and I shoot my shot and I blow it? I don't want to do that. So I'll maybe just keep going along, right? How many of you have felt that and have experienced that at some point, and you're here to give it another go? So, business strategy is really about fine tuning your process and fine tuning so that you can improve the efficiencies in your business, that you can, of course, reduce costs, increase revenue. And what most people won't tell you is also a way for you to have more pleasure and enjoyment being in business. A lot of people, and we go through what we need to go through until we get through it. But a lot of people really struggle with being in business. They have a great idea, they're super excited about it, and then it's like, oh my God, there's so many things to do. How do I possibly learn how to do all these things? And if you're anything like me, you wanted to know it all right away from day one. And then it gets this overwhelming energy that comes at you. And you don't have the knowledge, the skills, maybe even the vulnerability to ask someone for support to learn how to move through this. And I know that many of my clients have felt, they shared with me, they felt like they would look ridiculous. They would look foolish if they didn't know how to do things. And they allowed that untrue feeling to stop them from putting their hand up and asking for support, asking for guidance. In fact, many businesses have been created by someone watching somebody else doing what they're doing. The challenge with that is that you get 5 years in and what you're doing doesn't fit for you. It doesn't work with how you want to be. And then there's major changes that need to occur in order for you to start to have both the revenue and the pleasure. So, really allowing yourself to be vulnerable and say, hey, I don't know what that means. I don't understand that. That's okay. It's actually one of the most, it may be humbling for you to say that, to put your hand up and say that, but it's actually a really intelligent thing to do. Nobody knows everything about anything, right? No one does. We're all out here learning and doing our best. So that should be your first business strategy, is to allow yourself to ask for support and to be vulnerable, to say, I don't understand this. I need some help. When I started to do that personally, and I started to put up my hand, it was like this weight that was on my shoulders, and the knot that was in my stomach started to lighten. And there were wonderful people, amazing people that were there to say, no problem, Christine, I can show you that. I can teach you that. And, diving deep into the internet and trying to teach yourself, that can push you even farther down the hole. While there is a lot of great information out there, it also can be incredibly confusing because terminologies, you may have a definition of a word in a different definition to a word than perhaps the writer of what you are reading on the internet. And so what I have seen many times is the way that one individual explains something and the way that another individual explains something under the guise of the same word can be incredibly different. And there you're in overwhelm again, and then avoidance can follow. So let's start out with our business strategy in being willing to put up our hand, being willing to ask for the support, and being willing to allow yourself to open up deeply to understand where you are at and what you are challenged with. That's strategy number one. Okay. So let's move on. So you're always getting a perfect vibrational match to what you predominantly give your attention to, right? So if you give your attention to, I'm struggling in this area, I'm struggling over here, you can come at that struggle with super frustration or avoidance, or you can come at it with, I desire more knowledge, I desire more support. And when you are vibrating there, the support will definitely come in. Like this show may be exactly what you've been asking for. So you can't keep taking score of where your business is or your relationship is without continuing to create it as it is, unless you shift your perspective and you shift your allowance of you. So business strategy, we want to really emphasize the importance of building a solid strategy for long-term success. And that's something that a lot of people are looking for, a very quick return. They want instant satisfaction. We live in a world today where that is expected. Many years ago, like as a farmer doesn't get instant satisfaction. They have to cultivate and curate their lands and their animals for long periods of time, sometimes years, to feel the return. And they knew the investment that they were making would reap great benefits. You, as a business owner, as you create your business strategy, you want to be looking out long term, and you want to be taking the very thoughtful steps to build to that long-term outcome. And oftentimes, when you're not building a strong business strategy for long-term outcome, you can get burnt out, frustrated, and oftentimes walk away from your business. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why businesses actually close down. I'm not going to say fail, because I don't believe anything's a failure. I believe it's truly a learning experience. But that is one of the biggest things, because we want instant gratification and we don't plan out our strategy. And that's what we want to be doing, is we want to start to plan out our strategy. So we are going to go off to our first break. During the break, I'd like you to take a few minutes to jot down, what is my vision? And if you can't like lay that out really clearly, just lay out, what do I desire in my business? What do I desire? And you might come up with the things that you don't desire. That's okay. That's going to lead you to show you what you do desire. All right, let's start there. And when we get back, we'll jump back into the next steps of creating that business strategy. I'm Christine McIver, the host of the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Yes, back to the program, back to your program of business strategy. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm your host, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices show on the Inspired Choices Network. Now, in our first segment of the show, we were talking about what a strategy really is and what you need to come to the table willing to be, willing to do in order for you to really create a strong business strategy. I know that, I mean, this is an area that I could talk about for a very long time. And I do talk about this on a lot of my episodes. Your role, your thought patterns, the areas that you focus on, the areas that you criticize yourself about, all of those things play a deep, deep role in the success of your business. If you can get to the space of, I don't care who knows what about me, I don't care. I honestly, you know what? I might be embarrassed. I'm going to do it anyways. I might be humiliated. I'm going to do it anyways. I might feel foolish. I'm going to do it anyways. When you are in the space of, this is about me, this is about me having my own back, this is about me having my businesses back, no matter what it takes, I'm going to make this happen. When you are willing to be in that space, and that it's kind of like being naked emotionally about where you still have room to grow in business, where the gaps are within your psyche, within your knowledge, when you are willing to put it all on the line so that you can reap the benefits, I promise you everything will change, because you're no longer holding yourself captive from growth. Your perspective on yourself, maybe you've racked up so much expenses that you feel like you're buried in debt. Maybe you feel empty with your creativity. Maybe you feel like you have no idea what to do next or even where to begin. That's okay. That's truly okay. When you say, you know what? It doesn't matter. Today's a new day. And today, no matter what, I'm going to have my own back. And I'm going to have my businesses back. So together, we can soar. So many people have been there, but they stopped short of actually moving forward with being vulnerable enough with someone that they trust so that they can change it. You don't have to put everything like they used to say years ago. You don't have to air your dirty laundry all across the internet, right? They used to say, my family growing up, my mother would be like, close the windows. The neighbors don't need to know everything, right? And you know what? The neighbors don't need to know everything. Everybody online doesn't need to know everything about where you are at. However, if you're not willing to at least have someone support you to work through these things, the likelihood, the probability of you being able to change the course of where you're at with your business is so incredibly low that it would take, well, you'll probably run out of money before you actually are able to shift it. And I'm just being straight up with you. I can tell you the one thing that I truly would have done differently in my business when I started out is asking for help. I would have gotten a mentor at the very least. And the minute that I started to hire business coaches to work with me and guide me, and even just have me talk out loud what was going on with me and helping me to get really clear about the truth, that's when the business started to change. That's when it changed so much and my confidence level started to rise even more. Because here was the thing, I knew a lot more than I realized, but I was allowing the fear and shame and embarrassment to to keep all of my confidence and my knowledge, hidden away. That's not necessary. So this part of the business strategy is critical. It's absolutely critical for you to be able to have what it is that you desire. So let's go in. So defining, when we were going to break, I asked you to define what your vision is or what your desires are. Now, once you have come up with that, you want to expand on that. You really want to get very clear about, okay, this is the area that I want to work in. Now, understand something. You don't have to stay pigeonholed, but if you don't start somewhere where you're really focusing in and you're getting very clear and a really clear strategy about one area of your business, you're going to be um, not fully showing up in any area then. And so when you start out with a business strategy with one area specifically, you're going to, it's like, really exercising those muscles. So you want to get really clear and you want to start to exercise those muscles in that one area. So getting clear about your vision. What do I want a year from now? What would I like that to look like? Clearly, what would I like that to look like? So what I will start with a client is I will say, okay, so how much did you make in the last year in your business or in that area of your business? And it doesn't matter what the number is, absolutely doesn't matter. And I will then say to them, so would you be happy with that doubling? So let's say it's 20,000. Would you be happy with it being double? And they oftentimes will say, oh my gosh, that would be great. Sometimes they'd say, well, I'd like to make 100,000. Okay, so I'm going to be really clear with you. If you made 20,000 last year, and I say this with all love and kindness, you are not going to make 100,000 this year. And yes, there's miracles, and yes, there's this and there's that, but I am talking to 99% of the business owners out there, okay? If you were going to make 500% more than you made, imagine the massive changes that would need to occur with you, with your business strategy, with the functionality of your business, with your communication. Imagine all of that, how that would change. Now, going from 20,000 to 100,000 in 3 years, incredibly possible. Going from 20,000 to 100,000 in 2 years, possible, not super, not unless you dynamically are going to maybe get a large business loan so that you have support people around you, so that you have maybe new equipment, a big infusion of capital into your business so that you have extra support. But if you are a business owner who is primarily a solopreneur and you're doing this work yourself, challenging to go from 20 to 100 in 2 years. Again, not impossible, but you've got to see that, okay, so if we wanted to go from 20,000 to 40,000, even 50,000, I would say, okay, let's see what we can do on that. Then what you want to do is you want to look at, this is what I would like financially. Now tell me what you would like from a business strategy. What would you like it to look like for you personally each day? What would you like? Do you want to be working? How many hours a day do you work now? Do you want to be working less hours? Are you willing to put in more hours? Are you willing to put in Saturdays? If you're already working 5 days a week. Sometimes in order to turn the tide, you do have to invest more financially and sweat equity. It's required, especially when you are on a steep learning curve. Let's not deny this. A lot of people out here are saying, you can do it a different way and you can work less hours and all the rest of it. Yes, yes, you can. And the average person can't. I'm talking to you. I am talking to you out there that are still very much learning how to be in that. I am in a position now, after learning a great deal, once I became, I don't care, everybody can know whatever, I don't care, I'm having my own back. I now am in a position where I can say to my team, I'm taking the afternoon off. I'm taking tomorrow off. And truly, because I have amazing team members, but I've put the sweat equity in to have the processes, to have the strategy, to have the systems laid out very clearly and invested time in training and being with my team, I can now 100% walk away without a concern. I could leave my phone at home and walk for hours and with confidence that it will be taken care of. That's not always been the case, but if that's where you desire to be, okay, now let's look at what's the next step that you need. So what you want to do, and what we do in the business strategy sessions, is we reverse engineer. Where were you? Where do you want to be? Where are you now? Now let's start to look at the gap. So you want to start looking at, okay, what am I doing in my business? What services or products do I offer that I love? What services or products do I offer that I'm not in love with? Now, if you've gotten very proficient at something, you may find that, you know what? I'm really proficient at this one thing. So I used to build websites. And that was one of the first things that I did when I started my business, is I was building websites for other people. I got really good at it. I got proficient at doing it, but I got bored of doing it and I didn't want to do it anymore. But that was the stream of business that was bringing money in. So just because I'm saying to you, what do you not want to do? Don't stop doing it. Again, you need to have a strategy. How can you start to grow the things that you want to do? And this is where some extra oh my gosh, sorry guys. This is where some extra sweat equity comes in. How can I grow what I want to be doing more of, so that you can eventually start to allow what it is that you don't want to be doing as much less and less to be part of your day, right? So, it's the old saying, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. You want to have a real strategy around, okay, this is my plan. When I get to this stage, then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to, okay, so great. So if you go from 20,000 to 40,000 and 15,000 of that 20,000 is, we'll use websites, growing is doing websites, then you know what? We've got to grow something else at minimum to be bringing 15,000 in. Okay, so what would that look like? How many, um, how much money do I need to be doing every month? How much money do I need to be earning every week? How much money do I need to be earning every day? So what is the new service or what is the new product that I am going to build a big marketing, promotion, connection, strategy around to grow that part of my business, right? So you've got to keep doing what you're doing to keep the money coming in. You cannot just stop and go in another direction. It rarely works, especially when we are out here. You may not have the client base already in place to start to purchase or start to hire you for that area. So that's where you need to start growing. We are up to our second break already. How does this time go so quickly? Okay, stick around. I've got a lot more I want to share with you. I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you being in the chat room. And when we get back, we'll dive more into business strategy and where do I begin?
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, we're talking about business strategy and where to begin. It starts with you. That's the very first thing where you begin. You begin with what is stopping you, what's gotten in your way, and where do you need to grow personally as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, in order to really step up into your business. You want to also look at what's your vision, where are your desires with your business, and start to reverse engineer. You might have desires that are 5 years out. You might have desires that are 10 years out. That's okay. You know what? That as long as you keep connecting with those desires, that's actually going to stoke your actions. And having desires is one of the best ways to grow your business because you keep looking forward, right? Don't look back. Don't turn around and look at what you did that didn't work. You don't need to chastise yourself. You don't need to, dig up all those old bones. Let them go. It's okay. Let's start to go forward and let's start to really create what it is that you desire. So we start with a vision. We start with our desires. Then we want to look at what's working, what's not working, and what areas. And you do that, first of all, you want to look at what you're doing that you love doing. What are you doing that you don't love that you're doing? And then start to create the plan around how you're going to increase what it is that you love and decrease. Now, I really caution you not to run out there and try to add all these different things to your business. I really encourage you to look at what it is that you do enjoy and see how you can grow that. Look where the gaps are in what you are doing. If you are spending a great deal of time and money with new programs and new courses and adding this and adding that, understand your money and your energy and time is going to have a great deal of drain on it, not because there's anything wrong with that, but if your desires are to really grow the business and get more efficient, if you are spending a great deal of time and money on other things, it's definitely going to take away from where you are able to grow your business. So that's where you're going to have to really get clear with yourself about, okay, if I spend, X number of dollars a month on investing in my business, and let's go back to the example of $20,000. If I invest $5,000 into this year of growing more knowledge base, how am I going to make that up? Because you don't want to be making less than your 20,000 that you aren't pleased with. You really have to have a plan before you make those decisions and move forward. Okay. There are things that you have to invest in order to keep your business running. For me, it's high internet and a very efficient computer, a computer screen. It's all of the technology. That's a big piece for me and the way that I have set up my business. But extras are not necessary, right? Getting the latest and greatest is not necessary. Do I desire it? Perhaps. Is it necessary for me to have all of the newest out there? No, not if it's not going to. And this is where you always want to be looking. Okay, if I invest, and I want you to start using those words for your strategy, if I invest in this, what is the turnaround on revenue that will grow my business? It's not just I want to or I like to. If I invest $5,000 in this new program or in taking this new course, what can I genuinely expect what's the return on that investment? What's the length of time of the return on that investment, right? If you are someone, for instance, um, my son went to university, he got a degree in business, and then he moved abroad. When he was abroad, he was, a foreigner, so he wasn't able to get the positions that he was actually capable of doing because of that fact. And so he worked for a number of years and then he said, you know what, this is crazy. I need to get further education here while I can in order to really secure the positions that I'm capable of. So he went and he got his MBA. And even though he wasn't doing significantly different jobs from before or after getting the MBA, what he did get was more respect. And what he did get was a higher return on that investment quite quickly. So that's where we need to be coming from. And that's a strategy, right? So you want to be looking at your investments. You want to then get really clear about what makes sense for me. What what are the what are the areas that I need to really put my energy into? And you need to be able to analyze where are things at? Where are the gaps? If you're doing a great deal of your work online, are you spending time in the right areas online? Are you in the right groups or are you comfortable and yet not really seeing an expansion? Are you willing to evaluate all of the business areas that you have set up? All of the tools, all of the online programs that you're utilizing. Are they efficient? One of the biggest things that I do with business strategy is evaluating your time and where you spend your time. And I get my clients to do a time mapping for at least 2 weeks of where they really are putting their time. A great many people that work out of their own home have a very difficult time holding themselves accountable to really being efficient because nobody's watching them. I've said this many, many times. I want you to ask yourself this question. If I'm the employer, would I fire me, the employee? You've got to hold yourself accountable, and really seeing how you are utilizing your time is a huge piece of this, because you are driving your business forward or down. So be willing to do this evaluation of your time and hold yourself accountable. There's many times where I would like to just like, I don't want to get out of bed yet. All of the rest of it's like, then I'll say to myself, no, McIver, you need to get going, because I have a strategy. I have a strategy to grow my business every year, every month, every week, and yes, every day. I know exactly what's going to take place tomorrow, and I know exactly what I need to be doing in order to make that day successful. Can you say the same thing? And if you can't, if you're just jumping to your desk or going into the office or going to your store and you're just, doing busy work, not actually doing it from a strategy perspective, then you are wasting and throwing money away, because your time is just as valuable as money, because without your time and your sweat equity, you're not going to be returning that money. So I see a great deal of people spending a great deal of time on social media and not doing it proficiently. So going on to different platforms and saying, okay, I'm going to take a half an hour and I'm going to go on. I am going to do the promotions that I need to be doing. I'm going to do the interactions. I am definitely going to spend time connecting and creating connections. And then I'm back to the office. I'm back to turning off social media, turning off my phone, and getting to the tasks at hand, right? That's a big part of this. And when you are willing to look at your time, and even if you were to tweak out a half an hour a day, an additional half an hour a day, that would give you 2.5 hours a week. That would give you how many hours a year? Hold on a second here. I'm going to do my math. Have your calculator near and play with your calculator all of the time. So 2.5 times 50 weeks, you don't want to do 52. That gives you an extra 125 hours a year. Well, if you're making $50 an hour in your business, that's an extra $6,250. Well, guess what that is? That's also more than a third. It's more than a quarter of the 20,000, right? This is so important. You've got to start to see your time as money, and everything that you do as an investment. That's part of the strategy. That's part of being able to execute on what it is that you desire. Okay. Identify what it is that you want to be doing, and then identify the types of individuals that you want to be working with. Identify your customers. Now, everybody talks about your ideal customers. That's all great. Think about this. Think about what it is about that customer that makes you happy. What is it about that customer that you really enjoy? What is it about that customer that makes you want to work with them or for them or create a product for? Think about what lights you up, because that's going to identify to you the match that will work for you, that will inspire you to create even greater in your business. This is so important, because you don't want to just work with somebody for the money, Because eventually, just like for me with the websites, eventually you're not going to want to do it anymore. Okay. If you're working for people that really turn you off, you might be getting the money, but you're not going to be in a great energy space. And I'll tell you, when you're not in a great energy space, you are going to not only not be attracting those clients you believe that you desire, you're actually going to be deflecting them away from you because your energy is going to be, I'm not happy. Your energy and the place where you are happy is so paramount. Everything is energy, my friends. So you evaluating this about yourself is going to start to shift things for you. All right, we're up to our final break of the show. Ah, my gosh. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. We're on the Inspired Choices Network. I'll be here after the break. I hope you will be too.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow, we have gone through a lot tonight. There's a lot more things we can be talking about with business strategy. Before we jump back in, I want to tell you about something really exciting that's coming up. We are hosting the Inspired Choices Network produces summits and conferences, online summits and conferences. And on February the 1st, we're going to be producing one and we are the hosts. We have got 21 dynamic speakers coming together to contribute what they know in a way that will contribute action items for you immediately. The summit is called the Take Action Now Summit. 21 speakers in all different areas of both personal development, spiritual development, business development that are going to be sharing everything that they can in a talk for you. It's also going to be a live networking event, and each of these speakers are going to be gifting every participant a free gift. The gifts are up over $2,500, I believe, maybe even $3,000 by now for the free gifts. And if you're a VIP ticket holder, you're going to be getting a lot of different things, including over $15,000 worth of VIP gifts. The gifts are outstanding. I am personally looking forward to connecting with these speakers after the summit and taking advantage of these amazing opportunities to learn and grow from them. So go to takeactionnowsummit.com, or if you're here at the Inspired Choices Network, just click on our summit tab and you'll see the summit in there that will take you right to that page. February 1st is right around the corner. It's going to be a fabulous day. It's going to be filled with networking and laughter and growth and meeting new people in a way that probably you haven't had with other summits or conferences. So I'd love to see you there. Thank you. So let's get back into the business strategy. When you are looking at areas to grow and you think about, I want to be doing this and I want to be doing this and I want to be doing this, you've got to really step back and ask yourself, is the timing of this correct? What is it going to take? What financial investment do I need to make? Who do I need to hire? What programs do I need to know how to do? And what's the return on my investment if I implement that, if I add that to my business now, right? When you are in a space of excitement, sometimes that is a way to hoodwink yourself into forgetting to look at all of the implications on your business and on yourself. Because if you are taking something brand new on that you're going to start to do you have the bandwidth? Do you have the time and the energy to be able to create that today? So as I was looking at my business, as I've been growing my business over the years, I've had so many ideas to do things, and I knew that not everyone, I tried to do a lot right at the very beginning, and I just couldn't keep up, and I became frustrated. Well, then what's the energy that I'm putting out, right? And then that impacts both your client attraction, your relationship interaction, and of course, your finances. And so it really is important that you are taking the time to do a full evaluation on what you desire to add and what's the timing on that, and plan that out. It's kind of like, think of it like this. If you were going to buy a house, if you don't have the money in the bank, or you don't have the ability to get a mortgage, or don't have the down payment, can you really push through to try to get a house, right? To get a mortgage. That takes time and planning and getting your finances in order and paying off your debts and building up positive credit and getting that extra money put away for that down payment, creating a plan to do that, creating the extra income. That takes time. Your business is the same way. It requires you, and it deserves for you to take that time to really plan things out so that it doesn't collapse in the midst of you desiring more. So really identifying what it is that you desire, the types of individuals you desire to work with and for, and then how you are going to grow to those other desires, really going through the time and reverse engineering that. There's so many things you need to be doing each and every month, and each and every year. You need to be doing an evaluation. What is working? What is not working? Knowing that you're looking at your time and how much time you're spending and what shifts as you shift in your capacities. What's shifting with your time availability as you add more to your plate? What's shifting with your time that you're not available? As you add new things to your plate, does it require you to add new people to your team? All of these things take time, and all of these things deserve to have your full attention. So sitting down and slowing down so that you can speed up is one of the smartest things that you can do. And that's what a business strategy is all about. It's about honoring you, and it's about planning something out so that you're not only enjoying where you are now, but planning for the future. Oh my gosh, the show's nearly over. Come back next week, my friends. We'll have another show for you. I can't wait to hear from you and support you wherever you are at. Until next week, I want you to remember that you can always, always make another choice, and you can always start now. Until next week, take good care of yourself. We'll see.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then,
Be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.